It's the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll see the Bears, rookie linebacker. He's been one of the best blitzers in the NFL this season and is among the league leader in sacks. It's the Bears and the Lions, next on Madden Football.
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. Things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point, but boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important.
The Bears defense out to go to work here. Sensational a week ago in the victory. And the one we'll be watching is this man at linebacker.
And he had a great game a week ago. Just about everybody on this unit did in the shutout. It's going to be a tough performance to replicate, but this group, they believe they're up to the challenge.
Here's the former Bear. This is David Montgomery. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And Charles, you look at this defense, they were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game right.
Here's Goff. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The Chicago defensive unit back out there. They've got the upper hand in terms of field position as this drive starts inside the offense's 10-yard line. Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Another run for Gibbs here. A nice little juke. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And now we're going to get a stoppage as, yeah, that looks like Jackson who's shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. 3rd down and 1. Play action. It's Goff. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Lions first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Goff on first down. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And they will score. Pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
Back out is the Bears defense. They had the pick six just a moment ago, so they're feeling good as they prepare to try and make another stop. In motion, the tight end. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. To throw is Goff. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down.
Well, someone is certainly having a big game, and while that sack doesn't quite have the splash of his pick six from earlier, you know he's thrilled to be making big plays during a great individual effort today.
The Chicago defensive unit back out there. They've had the upper hand so far in this first half of play, working with a good lead already as they look to defend this first down. Now a play fake, and it's gone. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jaquan Brisker able to record his 5th sack of the season. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they get
under pressure. They got him again. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. So the sacks, they just keep on coming for this first-round pick. All hyperbole aside, he has become almost unblockable.
Well, let's bring the hyperbole back into it. I don't want to put it aside at all because when I first saw him come out, I thought by year 2 or 3 he'd be a Pro Bowler, maybe year 4 or 5 an All-Pro, but I underestimated him in a big way. He's one of the top 2 or 3 linebackers in the NFL right now as a rookie.
So now following the sack, Goff and the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And what else could go wrong at this point? This is going to be a defensive touchdown as they keep piling it on. Well, Charles, not only did they fumble the football, but they're starting to fumble away their chances here a little bit. We've got a 3-score ball game now here in the first half.
And the last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
Back out is the Bears defense. They had that strip a moment ago that led to the return for a score, so they're playing free and easy now as they try to shut down this offense again.
Hold on. Check.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And some room to work. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. There are times on carries like that where he looks a little bit older than his rookie status.
How many times have we talked when we've gone out to dinner about how precocious these youngsters are that come into the NFL now? They play at a higher level at a younger age. The stars aren't quite in their eyes as much as it used to be, huh? As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. Goff now looks to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ballgame. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
The Chicago defensive unit back out there. They've looked good so far. This whole team has, for that matter, in the midst of a big first half as this next drive begins 1st and 10.
We go tonight.
On 1st down, it's gone. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
2nd and 10, Goff again. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Back out is the Bears defense. They're going to need to bear down a bit with this drive beginning all the way out past the 40-yard line. On 1st down, gone. Puts it on the carpet, it's out. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
The Chicago defensive unit back out there. They've done a really nice job of slowing the tempo of this offense, and as a result, they've got a comfortable third quarter lead as this next drive begins, 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. That last throw moves him past 27,989 yards for his career, so that means he moves ahead of the blonde bomber, Terry Bradshaw, on the all-time list.
And boy, he loved to throw it downfield, didn't he? That's why he was the blonde bomber. Remember, he'd throw it downfield to John Stallworth and Lynn Swann. It was gorgeous. Big throws, big plays. Terry Bradshaw.
On 2nd down, here's Gibbs. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Meanwhile, Goff's throw complete there to St. Brown. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Here's Goff. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
But they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Back out is the Bears defense. They'll try to get the football right back to their offense who just punted. So now they'll try to force a punt themselves. It's 1st and 10.
DC!
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll be taken down after a minimal pickup, and that will take us to the end of quarter number 3. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. Back to throw, Goff. He'll find his rookie tight end, Sam Laporta. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Let's go. Here goes tonight.
They'll come up 2nd and 7. Now it's Goff. Caught on the right side by Jones. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now Goff. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Desperation time for Goff on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. The Chicago defensive unit back out there. They've pitched the shutout here into the 4th quarter. Been sensational. The question, can they finish it off? They'll need to come up with another stop here.
Value 3. What's that?
Now Goff on 1st down. That's complete to Laporta. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And now this ball picked up by the offense. But here in the final 2 minutes of the game, this will be blown dead. Only the fumbler can advance the football. So this will go back to the spot of the fumble itself.
Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold
under pressure, and they got to him again. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
But they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for Chicago, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Lions, add another loss to the pile as they drop to 2-8 now on the year. And they'll have a quick turnaround as they're back in action Thursday at noon Eastern for the traditional Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit.